Hi, I'm Father Daniel Bowen from the Order of Mercy, the Mercedarian Friars, United States of America. And I just wanted to share with you, I recently just came back from on a foreign mission, traveling to Lima, Peru, and I just thought I would just share a little bit about that with you. It was actually my first opportunity going abroad on a mission. And it was with the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, Focus. Some of you may or may not be aware of them. We're just a wonderful, great group. I started about 20 years ago by Curtis Martin, and they have missionaries that go and minister at college campuses throughout the country, and to continue to allow Catholic students to continue to stay strong in their faith. And part of their program, of course, they offer these missions, both here in the United States domestically and then also foreign-wise. So how it all came to be about is one of the Focus missionaries located at the University of Florida in Gainesville, Colin Linkover, he contacted Sister Anna, one of our Mercedarian Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, said, "Hey, would you happen to know if there's any priest available to be a chaplain on our mission?" And so she gave a call to Father Joseph Eddy, who's the superior here where I live at Mount Carmel West in Cleveland. And so he let me know about it. So I gave a call and spoke with Sister Anna and then with Colin, and he explained how they were looking to have a chaplain for the mission trip that was going to be occurring in the beginning of March of this year. And so it worked. I checked my schedule, and that worked out. And I thought, what a great opportunity to go and be able to serve in another land and to experience that blessing. And so that's what we did. So it was a wonderful thing. We all gathered together towards the end of February, at the beginning of March, gathering our mission team in Houston, Texas. I was comprised of 14 of us all together, largely students coming from the University of Toledo, University of Florida. And so we traveled down to Lima, Peru, and we're staying in a wonderful facility. It's a cloister contemplative community of sisters that own this large property and has accommodations to hold probably, I would guess, 90 people per se. And besides our mission group were other Focus mission groups and some groups from other groups, Benedictine College and Kansas, and really just very wonderful. So we were brought in there. We arrived in Lima. We were brought by bus to the place, each given our rooms. And so the work that we were particularly there to do was for us to help assist the locals, the vecinos, who live in Pamplona, which are mountain peoples outside the city of Lima. And they do not have electricity or water. And they live on the sides of these mountains. And so the roads only go so far. And so what really the great need, and what is actually the dream of the people there, is to have staircases constructed that can allow them to easily go up and down the mountain without having to just walk over gravel and rocks and dirt. And so that was what we primarily did for them. Our first encounter with them was on a Sunday. And so we actually were brought out there by bus to first meet with them, and we made our way up to an area where they had a flat surface. And we visited with them and celebrated Mass. And it was a great blessing for me to celebrate Mass in Spanish. And I hadn't really been prepared to celebrate this Mass, but one of the main hosts and liaisons to help us with this group, Alejo, really said, "You know what, you're on mission, be ready for whatever God might ask." And so God provided. It was a beautiful, wonderful Mass that we had outdoors. And the people from the village were there, along with the missionaries. And just what a blessing it really was to do that. And I can remember just some memories from that, of course. There was a gentleman from the neighborhood who had brought a glass of water. And he had brought this glass of water because he wanted to be sure that there could be a sprinkling of the holy water in the Mass. And I thought, what a beautiful, beautiful reminder and expression to do that. So of course I did do that. Matter of fact, I got more water, and now I hadn't prepared to have a sprinkling, so we actually got a water bottle and just poked a hole in the end of the cap, and then I could really squirt and get the holy water on and around everyone. So what a wonderful blessing that was. Amongst the missionaries, we had a fellow play guitar, so we had some music. I had a wonderful MC in Cody, who is a seminarian in Wyoming and decided to do some mission time there in Lima, Peru, and what a great blessing he was in helping to keep things liturgically just wonderful, and also just a great person in conversation and in all other ways. So it was an opportunity for us to visit with the peoples there. One woman came forward and requesting if I could have intention for the Mass for a deceased relative. And it was wonderful because I didn't have an intention, and so I was happy for that to be the intention. And then another fella had an intention for another person who was living, and it was perfect. So we had our intention set up. So what a beautiful thing it was there under the sun in the great outdoors, right in the middle of where they live, to celebrate the holy sacrifice of the Mass and give glory and praise to God for our newfound friends. So that was just an amazing, wonderful beginning to our encounter with the peoples of Pamplona, Peru. And then the subsequent days following, we were dressed to work, and so we traveled by bus from where we were staying to as far as the roads would take us, because they only go so far up there, and then we'd walk the rest of the way. And when we arrived to begin our staircase that we were asked to help build, they had already had the wooden frame placed, but really, other than that, it was just rocks and gravel. And so our job was to, as they explained, to place rocks into this framework, and then others mixed cement, concrete, with water, and then we bucketed with little buckets this concrete and poured it into the molds as we helped the Fisinos to form it and make these stairs. So probably altogether we worked 5 hours a day, not overly demanding. But what was also beautiful was just the moment. Another thing to mention, I forgot, I should have said too, the entire trip was we had a media fast. Okay, so that meant none of these, right? No internet, no cell phone. You know, we told everybody at home, we're fine, we're safe, and we'll talk to you in a week. And what a beautiful thing that was, because it really allowed us to take the time to visit with one another, to get to know one another. So even on our bus rides to and from the work sites, we encountered each other, the missionaries, and got to know, like, who's in your family, what are you studying, who you are, what's going on in your life. And just some beautiful encounters that I'll never forget in conversations. And so again, we'd work in the work site, make sure we had plenty of water to drink, to stay hydrated. And at first it was a little awkward because we weren't sure what we were doing in that. But each day as we worked, we became more confident in what we knew we were doing. We're like, well, let's build more steps. And the next day we came and they moved the frame up a little bit more. And so by the final day, we worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. By Friday, we were like, let's just knock it out. And we were doing 2 piles of concrete and cement and getting it in and passing the buckets. And we had music playing and we're dancing and laughing. And, we all gotten to know each other and the locals. It was just a beautiful, wonderful experience. Also, some of us with our limited Spanish were able to communicate to some degree or another. Isel, who is a fluent speaker in Spanish, was able to get even more greater insight, which she was happy to share with us, with some of the hardships that the people had to live with there, but then also some of their blessings and joys. So we built staircases in the mountains there, and we encountered the people of great love. Also, each day they made a meal for us, which was a wonderful opportunity for us to come and encounter them, allow them who have nothing to give us something in hospitality. And the meal was very basic, with rice and some chicken and vegetables and this delicious spicy sauce, which when they came, I'm like, mas, 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 because I love it. It was so tasty and wonderful. Delicious meal. So we're happy to give ourselves to help them to construct these steps which help them to come up and down, to be able to leave from their homes, to go travel into the city or places of employment, and give them a future. And the government, once these staircases are erected, install electric lights. So that's a beginning of bringing something a little bit more to them to help them in their poverty, material poverty. Now spiritually, these people were pretty right on. But the whole beautiful thing was that every day we would begin in the morning with Mass, and what a blessing it was to celebrate the Mass with our missionaries and the students who had given up their spring break to do this great work. And then after we'd come back from our work, after showering and cleaning, we'd then have a holy hour. I would expose the Most Blessed Sacrament, and we had that time in silence to pray and reflect upon the day and upon our lives and all those things, and also offered the opportunity for the Sacrament of Reconciliation, and then dinner, and then we'd share a little bit about the day. What were some of the high moments? What were some of the low moments, right? Maybe low moment, getting sunburn or something. High moment, just the opportunity for us to share with each other, and then always a God moment. Where do we see God in the moments? Just so many blessings to be seen. We had one day off, which is a wonderful blessing, on Ash Wednesday. We had ashes, and so I ashed everybody up with a nice big old cross like we do here in the United States, and off we went into Lima, Peru. And what a blessing it was. We got to go and visit to the Church of St. Rose of Lima, built on the property where she lived, to see a little prayer hut and the well that was there. And just a wonderful, great blessing to be there. And then we also went down to the Dominican parish where her mortal remains are interred, along with St. Martin de Porres and St. Juan Matista. Maybe a little off on that. Should check the fact, right? But it was a wonderful blessing to be in their presence and to see. They have their skulls in these, reliquaries, so you can see them quite plainly, and the remainder of their body in the crypts below. What a blessing to be able to be in their presence and pray with these great holy people from the land of Peru. Really a great land of enchantment. What else can I share? Wonderful. And then we went to the market also for those interested in getting some things to give to loved ones and benefactors who help support the trip. See, each of the students had to fundraise in order to be part of this trip. So again, we're relying upon others to help, right? It was a mission and something that we were able to do, and happy and grateful to do with the help of others. And I'll never forget my mission week with Focus, the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, in our mission to the people of Pamplona and the people of Lima, Peru. So if you have ever the opportunity to be part of a mission, say yes. Go outside of yourself. Allow God to stretch you and to use you and to give you an opportunity to really encounter God in a way that you had never expected. It'll be absolutely worth it. The blessings that you'll be able to give to others and that you in turn will receive will be for a lifetime. And we think on it really beyond life, into the eternity. So that's my story on sharing some of my thoughts with our visit to Lima, Peru. It's just a great time, and I wish you the best. And this is Father Daniel Bowen of the Mercedarian Friars USA saying goodbye, God love, and God bless.